السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. I want to say something about learning Arabic for Western Muslims and for those who are teaching Arabic. Uh, Somebody asked me a while back on why I don't continue to teach Arabic language. And sometimes the answer is not as easy as I want to say it. Why I stopped teaching Arabic is because I have more studies to do, meaning with the religion. And I have noticed over the years in America, brothers and sisters who say they want to learn Arabic, they're really not serious about learning Arabic. And the reason why they're not serious about learning Arabic, um, I can only say for the African American Muslim community, is that many of them are not serious with learning Arabic. And people who do teach Arabic fall into certain categories: the people who actually teaching Arabic and the people who actually want to learn Arabic, either or they start and never finish, and the people who are actually teaching Arabic, a lot of them don't have qualifications to teach Arabic, meaning that they don't have the correct approaches of teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. And that's very much equivalent to what we see in America and Canada and Britain when it comes to um, teachers teaching English as a second language. Like, for example, TESOL, or teaching, yeah, TESOL basically, right? Or CELTA. Um, so, for example, in the US, for English teacher who has a degree in English language, who is a registered, or I'm sorry, a licensed teacher, there are classes and courses they have to take when it comes to now teaching English to non-English speakers. There are some approaches they must learn to teach English as a second language, right? Even though you might know English language, does not mean that you're able to teach English as a second language for another person, right? So there are some approaches you must learn before you start teaching English language, and not even for a native speaker. You must have some courses. There's some prerequisites that you need to have, right? Because there's approaches in teaching um, non-English speaker English. There are approaches, and if these approaches are not met or not known, then the student will not learn that much. I think Britain and Canada has some of the best approaches of teaching English as a second language, because I lived in Canada and I do some comparison between immigrants or foreigners who go to Canada and the foreigners who come to the US, how quickly they learn English from these type of schools. And I find that in Canada and Britain, they have the best approaches for teaching English as a second language, compared to in America, where I meet people who take ESL courses and they're still weak in English language. And then I find people who are immigrants or foreigners in Canada who go to school to learn English second language. In a couple of months to a year, they speak English as a native speaker, meaning with no accent, nothing. In America, they take a year, 2 years, and they're still speaking English incorrectly, and they still have an accent, right? I go to UK and Canada, the immigrant go there, they learn English in a short time, and they're very fluent in the English language without noticing a accent that many of the English speakers in America still have after they learn English, right? It's about the approaches, right? And how skilled is the teacher. Back to teaching Arabic language in America, most individuals I have met who teach Arabic to people, whether they know the language or not, many of them do not have the approaches of teaching Arabic. So when people ask me why I don't no longer teach Arabic, first I have my own studies that I have to be concerned with, and teaching Arabic, which is very important. I find that many of the students are not serious. Many people who want to learn Arabic, they pick it up one day and they leave it the next day, right? And I don't have a lot of time to start from the beginning. For example, one of my associates came to me, he wants to learn Arabic. So I said, man, I don't have time to be with you for 6 weeks to 2 or 3 months just for you to get from Alif Bata to Hada. I don't have the time for my own personal studies, my own personal reviewing. I don't have time to go through Hada with you for 6 months and then you're gonna drop. You're gonna study, then you're gonna drop, then you're gonna come back months later or a year later and want to start over again, and we still stuck on Alif Bata and learning Ishara, Hada, Hadihi. I don't have the time for that, right? I could take that time just for my own reviewing, right? And when I do teach Arabic, as I have a group of videos for Arabic grammar, that was actually for my own reviewing, right? That's for my own personal reviewing of grammar, right? Arabic grammar. So for the people who do teach Arabic language, I know I put in the title, those who teach Arabic language need to stop. I don't really mean that. That's to get the people to hope to look at the video. But you really, those who do teach Arabic, you need to learn the approaches of teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. You need to learn these approaches. Now, I lived in Egypt for a few years, 2 years actually, and I was able to study Arabic language in the institution in Egypt, alhamdulillah. And then I was able to study with a sheikh in Egypt in his village with his students who are also, some of them were actually scholars. Some of them were tulab and some of them was actually on the level of sheikh. And when my time in Egypt with Sheikh Abdul Adin Badwi, Hafidullah, may Allah preserve him, he hooked me up with one of his students who was a sheikh in a local village who had his, either I believe he had his master's or his PhD in the Arabic language, and I had the opportunity to spend some time with him, and then after that, I had some time to spend with learning Arabic again in the institution. Then after that, coming back to the U.S., still growing and learning, I had the opportunity to meet up with some Egyptian teachers for the Arabic language who teach a language, right? And I learned from them that there are approaches from learning Arabic. And I got to, alhamdulillah, work with some Egyptians who actually own schools for Arabic language. So what the owners of the schools that I have met and I have dialogues with and I still talk with is that when they look for teachers in their school, they look first for the teacher. First, he has to have a degree, whether it's a bachelor, master's in Arabic language, right? In Arab countries, they don't have none of these things called associate degrees, right? So first you look for the teacher, right, that has his bachelor's or master's, right? That's just the entry level in the Arabic language, right? Then on top of that, they look for the teachers who have their bachelor's, master's, even a PhD in Arabic language, who took up finished courses on how to teach Arabic as a second language. It's not called second language in Arabic language. It's called ligayru natiqina biha, right? Speaking Arabic, teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speakers, people who don't speak Arabic, meaning non-Arabic speakers, right? They don't call it ESL or learning Arabic as a second language. That's not what it's titled in Arabic, right? So They acquire this from their teachers. Then the real good Arabic schools, the owners, right? Like one owner I know who's very popular for teaching Arabic. They have their own curriculum that they teach their teachers on how to teach. They have their own method, sorry, their own method, special method for their school on how to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. They have a method of teaching, right? And what I liked about Egypt, because in Egypt, different Arabic institutes, they competed with each other on who could teach the students better or more accurate, or make have the students more stronger, because that would get more people to come to their school, right? They get more people. Oh, I want to go to this school instead because this student studied there and he's able to, he mastered these things or such and such things, right? So the school, they hired a teacher who has the degree in Arabic language, right? His bachelor's or his master's, right? Minimum. Then they have courses that they take that teach them how to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speaker. They just don't grab any Arabic teacher who has a degree in Arabic and put them in their school to teach. They make sure the teacher has lessons, courses they took on how to teach Arabic as a second language, right? Also, over the years, when I came back, I started a little service online where I would take students in America that I know, brothers and sisters that I know, who want to learn Arabic language, where I would connect them with teachers online who came from Egypt or Arabic teachers. So when I used to look for teachers, the same thing. I didn't grab teachers who just had any degree in Arabic language, right? Most of the teachers, when they came to me looking for students, this type of business I was doing, where I find the Arabic teacher from Egypt and I get the students from America, I would interview the teachers. So the teachers would send me their Asira Advatiya, what we call CV or resume. I will make them sending me their degrees, right? Which is mostly, I would take teachers who study Arabic language, right? May have they masters, they bachelor or they are masters, right? And then they would send me their certificates that the courses they took either or in their university, right? Or in another college where they learn the methodologies on how to teach Arabic as a second language or how to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. Once I seen those certificates along with the degree, these were the teachers I chose to interview, right? I did interview teachers who had degrees in Arabic, who didn't have these type of certificates on how to teach Arabic as a second language. And when I did do this, a lot of them who didn't have these certificates, even though I had a degree specifically in Arabic language, a lot of them did not have the proper approaches to teach Arabic. Some of them I have met, depending on what school they came out of in Egypt, what university they came out of it. Some of them were weak. Right? Some of them were actually weak teachers. I remember one sister, she was doing a lesson and she decided to use a PDF format of the Medina books, right? The first book. And the word was bab. And I asked her, what is the other meaning of the word bab in Arabic? Right? I asked her, what are the other meanings of the word bab? She told me in Arabic she don't know. I'm like, how you Arabic? How you got a degree in Arabic and you don't know that bab means door? It means chapter. It means section. I'm like, how you have your bachelor degree in the school from Arabic language and you don't know the word bab have multiple meanings and usage in Arabic language? Because in Egypt, many people who study in university, they just memorize for the test and don't comprehend and understand. I know that from living in Egypt. You're not going to know that if you don't live in Egypt. Here in America, you're not going to know that. So you just can't grasp any teacher. I told the sister, I'm like, yo, man, you're very weak in your Arab, and you have a degree in Arabic language from a university that's not really known, it's not really strong in Arabic. The universities in Egypt that are strong for Arabic, Al Azhar University and Dar Ulum, and some other universities in Pacific villages, right, in Egypt, because Egypt, wherever there's a Montiqa or there's a big city, right, in Egypt, they have their own university named after that city, right? So wherever you go in Egypt, whether Egypt have many big cities in Egypt, Cairo is the biggest, right? So for Alexandria, going to have its own university, right? So depending on where the students are from, sometimes I'm familiarized with the universities and which ones are good, right? Especially where in Egypt they're from. But in Cairo, Alexandria, anywhere else in Egypt, Al Azhar is very known for Arabic language. But some will argue with you and say, no, actually, Al Azhar is weak. Al Dar Ulum in Egypt is stronger than Arabic, stronger in the Arabic language, right? And that might be true to a certain extent, right? Depending on what city that person is from, all right? So the teacher has other qualifications for teaching Arabic. They take courses, right, by the government or in the school that is a legitimate course on how to teach Arabic for non-Arabic speakers. Because in Egypt, for the teacher who has a degree in Arabic, having these type of certificates along with their degree will open the door for them to get a job. Because in Egypt, Arabic teachers don't get paid a lot of money. Everybody and their mama literally have a degree in Arabic language or Islamic sciences in Egypt. I'll say it again. In Egypt, in most Arabic speaking countries, everybody, even their mama, got a degree in Arabic language or any other Islamic sciences. I get resumes from Egypt, Lebanon, Palestine every week. Every week, I get at least 3 emails, and I no longer do this business no more. I still get a whole lot of resumes coming from Egypt, Morocco, Syria, and even Lebanon. I even have people who are not Muslim in Lebanon send me their CV all the time for Arabic teachers, and they send all their paperwork, degrees, and all the courses they took that specialize in teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. And this is who, when the school have students who are foreigners, this is the type of teachers they pick. And if the school is just starting off and they have some strong teachers, the one who's the teacher, usually the one who owned the school or the individual who owned the language school, if they want to save money, they get the strong student who come out the college who's very good in Arabic, and then they teach them the methods for teaching Arabic as an Arabic language, and then they give them certificates from their school for the teachers. And then in Egypt, right, I spend most of my time in Egypt learning Arabic. In Egypt, for students who finish their Mahad, right, the Institute for Arabic, there's a particular school, right? Many of them, for the behalf of those who's finished the courses, some schools have courses for them that they learn how to teach Arabic language to non-Arabic speakers. Some schools, not all. Some schools have this in Egypt. I've seen this in Egypt in the past. All right. Now back to America now. Back to America. Back to people who are teaching Arabic. I don't care if they graduate from Medina University. I don't care if they graduate from Al Azhar University. A lot of the people who are teaching Arabic in America, some of them do not have the approaches. They don't know the approaches on how to teach Arabic language to non-Arabic students. They might go off of some of the approaches that they have noticed from when they learned Arabic in these countries or in these institutions in their country. And it might work to a certain degree. But when the approaches of teaching Arabic language for non-Arabic speakers, the approaches changes by the levels of the students. The higher the level you go, the different approaches are used. The higher the level the student goes in Arabic, the approaches for the teacher to teach Arabic, the approaches changes. So one teacher might learn our approach that's very good for the beginners who don't know nothing about Arabic, pronunciation, letters. There's a special approach for people on that level. But if you intermediate, beginner intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced, your approaches start changing because what you're learning start changing and getting more complicated. That's why you don't see in America a lot of the brothers and sisters who start with Arabic with people don't finish, because some of the teachers don't know the approaches for every level. He doesn't know the appropriate approaches for different levels. He doesn't understand how he learned Arabic. He might not understand the different approaches of teaching people from every different level. And then in a lot of Arab-speaking countries, these approaches are not just taught for anybody just studying Arabic with his bachelor's degree. Sometimes no. Sometimes when they get higher up in their studies, masters, whatever, some cases, then the school will probably introduce that to the teachers. Why? Because they understand that that teacher, he understands certain levels, certain things of levels of the syllabus or the curriculum that he finished himself. For the native speaker, then he start learning the approaches of teaching Arabic based on the student's level, based on the different levels, which I don't see brothers who are teaching Arabic in America don't have. And that's why many people don't get too far in learning Arabic in America from learning from individuals, even if they don't care. I don't care. Even if they're a graduate from Medina, I don't care. Even if they're graduates. Some would say, you know, we have the Muslim, the Multazim, good Muslim, good manners and stuff. No, might say, but in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba and the Tabi'in, they taught Arabic according to Quran or Hadith and speaking, and for the non-Arabs who entered Islam. Yes, we can say that. You can say that, but when the Sahabas and the Salaf taught Arabic to the non-Arabic speakers who became Muslim, their whole society everywhere speaks Arabic. The whole society became an Arabic-speaking country. So in America, the whole society that we're living in are not Arabic-speaking country. We're not in an Arabic-speaking country. It's not becoming an Arabic-speaking country. So the person might just hear Arabic only in that lesson with you. So that means that you have to learn as the teacher the approaches on teaching Arabic language. That's why I don't focus on teaching Arabic now, because I have to focus on Islamic sciences. I didn't study to be talib to be an alim in lugha, to teach it. If I want to be an alim in lugha, it's for me to yani yafham ad-din, yafham al-Islam, is to understand yani Islam. That's why I study. I want to afham ad-din. Right? And part of the deen is teaching Arabic, but many of you guys are not there to want to learn it. And those people who are actually teaching it, many of them don't have the proper approaches. Right? The beginning levels are the easiest things to teach. Alif, ba, ta. يعني اسمه إشارة المضاف ومضاف إليه يعني فعل ماضي. But when it comes to al-i'rab, you're going to have difficulties. You have to learn the approaches on teaching things in Arabic. It's the easy levels are the easiest things to teach sometimes, the easiest stuff. It goes back to even us in America. How many people who have kids in junior high and high school, even maybe the 5th and 6th grade, and there was remote learning and they couldn't teach these kids mathematics on a junior high or high school level? They had problems with their kids because their parents don't know how to teach these subjects because they forgot these subjects, or they understand a little bit but they don't know how to teach it. So because you know something doesn't mean that you're able to teach it, or you understand something doesn't mean that you're able to teach it. That's why there's criteria for being a teacher in America and in the Muslim world. For Islamic study, there are criteria. And for the Arabic language, there's criteria from being an Arabic teacher to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. It's different if they're going to teach native speakers. It's a different scenario. The native speaker, he speaks Arabic. I don't care if it's a dialect. And what they learn in school from grade school up is all in proper Arabic language. So they are native speakers. The native speaker is not going to learn the same way as the person who is not a native speaker in Arabic. They're not on the same level. So when it comes to the non-Arabic speakers, there are approaches for teaching non-native speakers any language. So when people ask why I don't teach Arabic anymore, I don't focus first to students, you're not serious, and there are approaches. Most of us could get through the basics, but to learn, you want to go further, you have to know as a teacher the approaches of teaching Arabic as a non-Arabic speakers and the different approaches for different levels. How I know, I worked in an English language school when I lived in Egypt, and I learned, man, even for that, there's different approaches. That's why they take, when you people, I know a lot of brothers and sisters work on trying to make hijrah, or they look about making hijrah. Some of them I know from the past, they want to go teach English as a second language. You know, a lot of the schools don't take you as an English teacher unless you have a degree and you have a TESOL or CELTA certificate. The TESOL and the CELTA certificate teaches you the different approaches of teaching English language to non-English speakers for different levels, because the beginners, intermediate, and advanced, there's different approaches for teaching these levels. Same thing for the person who wants to learn Arabic and an Arabic teacher. Some books in Arabic, I've seen some book that's designed to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speakers, like Arabiya Bayna Yadayk. I think I have it with me, the introduction. I photocopied many years ago. It teaches you in the beginning of the book some of different approaches on how to teach Arabic language based on the level lesson, meaning level that you are at. But there are some things that you need to have with you as a teacher. So we need to start learning how to teach. And that's going to go to the other part of this video. It's not enough about teaching. It's about you have to learn how to teach. How to teach. How to teach language. How to teach religious sciences. What are the approaches of a teacher? How do the teacher not just, some people look at the conduct of teachers. It's not just the conduct of teachers, it's how to teach. You have to learn how to teach. What's appropriate for the student at what particular level. If that's not understood as a teacher, no matter you got your PhD or your master's degree, the student is not going to learn as much, because you as a teacher have to learn the approaches of teaching. Calling people to Islam, that's a different scenario. Talk about teaching now. Replicating what you have learned in the school with a scholar or professor, replicating that. How are you going to replicate that? Well, what is a qualification for the professor to be the professor and to teach? What do a prepare a new professor? How do they prepare a new professor? How do they prepare him to teach students? Why do some professors, I'm talking about in the Muslim world, why a person before he becomes a professor, he's first an assistant professor to a professor in the classroom? Why is that? Because it's preparing him on how to teach and their approaches and stuff. So when we look at teaching Arabic in America now, you have to learn their approaches of teaching Arabic. And if you haven't mastered the language, and then you haven't learned the proper approaches, then you're going to fail the student. Good. So the brother Najib Johnson, give me a little time to read your comment, because how it comes up on my screen is awkward. Okay, so you said, actually, I'm blind. I wear glasses, brother. I'm actually trying to pull for them. What will you say about Africans that learn Arabic in their countries, although their countries don't speak Arabic? When they come to Egypt, they're already fluent, often stronger than Egyptians. Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best, because in African nations, there are Muslim countries, or half of the nations are Muslim. You have to remember, Islam been in Africa for centuries. Islam been in Africa for centuries. On top of that, Arab and Africans have a relationship together before Islam. So, for example, Najib, when you read about Jafar ibn Abi Talib, when they made hijrah to Ethiopia, right? And when the Muslims, I'm sorry, when the Mushrikeen from Quraysh went to Najasi, right? And asked them for them back, how did they communicate? When he went to when the Mushrikeen from Quraysh went to Ethiopia to get back the companions who made hijrah from Mecca to Medina, how did they communicate? How did they communicate, brother? How did they communicate? For the companions who made hijrah to Ethiopia, how did they communicate with the people? You got to ask yourself that question. The Africans knew Arabic language. Because what? Ethiopia at one time, what? Was the head of the Arab countries, meaning was in control of them. So that means that the Africans and Arab people, their languages or their culture blended together. Matter of fact, and in Islam, in Arabic, in Islam, there's some words that are not originally Arabic. They're Ethiopian. It's something that we use all the time. When you go to Juma, on Juma, the Imam is on the mimbar. The word mimbar in Arabic comes from Ethiopia. You got me? So Arabs and Africans already been, culturally and religiously, they've been intertwined with each other. And then Islam been in Africa for centuries. So there's many Africans who speak Arabic fluently because the influence of Islam and how Islam spread to the world, especially African nations, the companions in them and Tabi'een who went to Africa in these countries, they called them to Islam in the Arabic language. The Muslims learned Arabic language. So that's why today the Africans still know Arabic. And then Islam itself is preserved in the Arabic language, which includes all the Islamic sciences. So that's why the African Muslim knows Arabic and is teaching it. That's why, brother Najib. But here today, I'm speaking about in America, because I live in America. I live in the West. And Islam is new, but as Islam being something new in America, it's not going to be preserved if the Muslims don't have their approaches to teach the religion and specifically the Arabic language. If you fail in the Arabic language, you're going to fail in preserving the religion of Islam. That's why the African Muslims could speak Arabic and Islam exists in Africa, because the Muslims learn Arabic language to preserve the Islamic sciences. But I want to get off topic here, because here in America, Americans, I could say, they're lazy when it comes to learning languages. They're very lazy. And I hear many Muslims who talk about they want to learn Arabic, they want to do this, and I'm looking what they're doing online. And I'm like, you'll never learn Arabic like this. I'm watching a brother today. I mean, that somebody's giving free lessons. I'm like, you study Arabic twice a week? You'll never learn the language. Listen, man, you'll never learn Arabic studying it 2 times a week for 20, 30 minutes online. You'll never learn Arabic. You'll never learn Arabic, because you're not putting enough time in. You didn't even learn your mother language like that. Your own native language, you didn't learn it like that once or twice a week for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour online. Especially you getting instructions in Arabic about Arabic language in English. You'll never get it. You'll never get it. You get instructions about Arabic language in English. You never learn it, and then you're studying it only 2 or 3 times a week, or even less than that. You'll never learn Arabic language. Arabic language is very complicated. Many things you have to know, especially if you want to study Arabic language for religious purpose. Then there's a lot of things you must know about the language, and you won't learn it studying online once or twice a week, unless you're consistent. Maybe 5 years, 10 years, you give it up by then. You will give it up. I personally, I went to school for Arabic language. I didn't study once or twice a week, 5 days a week, for 3 to 4 hours a day in the classroom. And then when you study religion, then when you study Arabic, when you study Arabic, I know a lot of brothers, they love things about Saudi and Medina University, get hyped up about Medina University and all this stuff. And, in America, especially the Salafi, you get hyped up. Oh, somebody studied in Medina. Yeah, but they don't tell you when they were studying Arabic, the teacher ain't teaching them Arabic and English. I lived in Egypt, studied Arabic and English. I studied Arabic in Egypt. The professor don't speak no English, no French, no. They teach you Arabic and Arabic language. I don't care what level you at. So imagine now you in America getting the lessons once or twice a week for 20, 30 minutes, and it's all in English. You'll never learn the language. You notice when you go to ESL class in America, because I had an immigrant wife, and I should take her to ESL courses, the teacher don't speak to them in their native languages. They can't, because you have people in the classroom from different countries who speak different languages. Same thing when you go to overseas to study Arabic. You're going to have students in your classroom. I remember I was in Egypt. I had students from Germany, France, in my classroom. French, when they speak nothing but French. I had classmates with me who speak nothing but German. The teacher don't teach you Arabic and any other language. They teach you to learn Arabic and Arabic. That's the key to mastering it. And this is why they have to have their approaches on how to teach Arabic as a second language. That's why they have to learn the proper approaches to teaching Arabic to non-Arabic speakers, according to their levels. Because they're not teaching them in their mother tongue. And you're not going to grasp it. I translate stuff all the time. I got another book I'm working and editing. Man, you think when I study Arabic to understand religious studies that I study Arabic and English language? No, not at all. Study Islamic sciences. You listen to the Sheikh in Arabic. Why you think the Sheikh teaching you in Arabic? He's not teaching you in English. The Quran is revealed in Arabic. The Sunnah revealed in Arabic. That's Najib. The question you said, not your question. You said, I think one of the main things that have held us back is that we study Arabic. We only focus on Islamic vocabulary and forget Arabic as a language. Uh, you know, it's about having the proper approach, the proper teacher, and the correct curriculum and syllabus. You know, vocab is very important. Some of the Islamic vocab, mustalaha, we already know them. You know, some of us already know them. Not knowing Arabic, you know a lot of the Islamic terminology already, right? Fiqh, we know what fiqh means. If you're not an Arabic speaker and a Muslim, and you know what fiqh means, you know what it means. So we're already familiarized with these things. We have a lot of understanding already, but we just don't realize we do. So we know what aqidah means, right? You might not know what the linguistic meaning of aqidah. The linguistic meaning of aqidah comes from the word aqd or aqada or aqd. It means to tie something in the knot, right? Aqada from a past tense verb, right? Or aqd, right? Meaning to tie something into a knot, right? That's the linguistic meaning of the word where aqidah comes from, right? Islam. What is the linguistic meaning of the word Islam, right? So we might know the Islamic meanings, but we don't know the linguistic meanings of word according to the Sharia law, right? But some of us are already familiarized with that, and that's a bonus when you go to learn Arabic. You're already familiarized with some of these things, right? It's a bonus. It's going to help you. People who are hafiz in Quran and go to learn Arabic, they memorize Quran and they start learning the language and they start, oh, now I understand what this that means. Now I understand what that means. Oh, now I see this pattern. Oh, this pattern I see in Tajweed. Oh, it's related to Arabic grammar, for example. Oh, why this word ends with kasra? Oh, that's related to Arabic grammar, jar wa majroor. You got me? Some things of Tajweed is connected to al-i'rab, right? That's related to Arabic grammar, all right? Why this word is this tanween, right? Tanween, right? Nun sakin, nun sakina, what tanween, right? What do tanween means? It's Tajweed, but tanween is in grammar. It means al-marifa. A word is indefinite in Arabic grammar, right? So you start, if you memorize Quran, you go learn Arabic language and grammar, you start realizing, oh, that's what all these things means in Tajweed or related to Tajweed. Oh, that has something to do with grammar. I mean, it's going to help you. So all those things that if you don't know, if you're not studying, but you understand some of these terminology, when you go to learn the language, all that stuff is going to assist you. But here I'm talking about approaches, especially in the West, because in the West, the Muslims are not putting emphasis on Islamic learning. And in the West, especially in America, Muslims have money. The Muslim community in America is not poor. They have wealth. And it's sad that when we see the Muslim communities have wealth and they're not putting any emphasis on preserving Islam through the Islamic sciences, you're not going to have a future for Islam in America. Your children, a couple of generations, going to lose their Islamic identity because you're not preserving the Islamic sciences. Even the people who are teaching religion, some of the Muslims who are teaching religion, there's different levels of teaching. I don't want to really get into them, right? Some of the levels of teaching, especially for in the West, is just make sure that these new converts or reverts have a good understanding of the foundation of Islam in their mother tongue. That's okay. Labas. This is dawah. This is dawah, right? But now when it comes to wanting to preserve the Islamic sciences, this is now we have to take it to the next level now. It's not just about giving a few free lessons on Arabic and grammar and khalas. We're not going to preserve the religion this way in this country. That's why a lot of the brothers and sisters, particular brothers, have to go away and study Islam in Islamic universities or institutions in the Muslim world. What happened if one day that these things are shut down or limited? Look what happened during the pandemic. People couldn't travel, especially Americans. During the pandemic, people couldn't travel. So because people couldn't travel, I was reading your comment, brother. Because people couldn't travel, that means they couldn't go to some of these countries, especially the ones who didn't allow Americans to enter, because a lot of people were dying in America from, I don't want to say that word because I want them to strike my video. So what were the Muslims doing at that time in America? What happened one day? Something happened and people cannot travel. How are you going to preserve Islamic sciences in America, especially if you don't have the proper approaches for teaching Arabic? How are you going to preserve Islamic sciences? For the Muslims who like they want to learn, but alhamdulillah, man, alhamdulillah, I can say it's a ni'mah, it is a barakah to understand Arabic and the religion through the Arabic language, because you can't understand Islam in other language. I don't care, you can get a basic foundation, but the Quran is attached to the Arabic. You can't separate them. The Sunnah is attached to the Arabic. You cannot separate them. So the question is, it's a barakah to understand these things in Arabic. And I don't care how rich or poor you are, if you understand this, you're very rich. I'm just reading some of your comment, Najib. You said even if it's not Islamic expressions and the vastness is found in literature and poetry, that's part of adab. Actually, Arabic literature is actually adab in Arabic, right? That's part of Arabic language, Arabic literature, right? When you go overseas to study, people don't study Arabic literature. You mean Arabic? You said literature, but you mean Arabic literature. If you go to university, you're going to study some type of Arabic literature. You're going to study Arabic literature. Some form of fashion. You're going to start Arabic proverbs and literature and all that stuff. That's how you get a good grasp in the Arabic language, by studying Arabic literature along with the religious sciences. Actually, some of the criteria to consider to be a mufti, or the one who is able to get fatwa, is being familiarized with Arabic language, grammar, nahwu, sarf, and Arabic literature. Adab goes hand to hand in studying whatever. But people who go away to learn Islam, most likely they learn adab, etiquettes, and things like that. Do they practice etiquettes? It's another, that's on that individual. All right. So when you, for example, you say, you see someone don't have adab and they study Islam, they learn adab. Maybe that person just don't have good manners. That's that individual. Doesn't mean that they didn't learn it. It means that individual have issues in his adab. Doesn't mean that he didn't learn it. I'm just reading some of your comments. I could just pin some of them so people can see what you're saying also. But one of the things here in the West, because Muslims from Muslim countries who are not Arabic speakers, I have a lot of associates online that are Muslims who are not Arab speakers, but I speak with them in Arabic. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of associates that I know that are Muslims, right, from Southeast Asia, from Africa, right? And I have conversations with them in Arabic. I have associates from Thailand, where I hope the person see this. I don't speak Thailand. She, you know, the South. She's a female. She's from the South part of Thailand, right? This sister, man, she speak Arabic fluent. Mashallah tabarak. She showed me in her country in Thailand. This is Thailand. Thailand is not even a Muslim country, but the south part of Thailand, which is connected to Malaysia, is on the border of Malaysia. It's Muslim, right? She showed me in Thailand where she's from, Muslim village. She showed me her school one day, right? She graduated from a high school. The high school is an all Arabic high school. So for high school in her country in Thailand, which is not a Muslim speaking, which is not a Muslim country and is not an Arabic speaking country, she showed me her high school graduation and she showed me her high school and the building and everything. It's a school, it's a high school for Arabic language. It's a high school for the Arabic language. And then she was telling me in Arabic, right, that this is her high school. And when she graduated her high school, she went to Medina, right? Medina, institution for Arabic language, because she had an uncle, because her family is Muslim, who was living in Medina, living in Saudi and Medina at the time. So she took, after she graduated from high school, which is an Arabic language, a high school for Arabic language in Thailand, went to Medina, Institute of Arabic Language, got a certificate, right? I think she got kicked out. Her family got kicked out because they had a visa issue. Then she went to Malaysia and got her degree in Sharia law in Malaysian University, which they teach the subject in Arabic. And these are not Arabs. This is somebody who is Southeast Asian, right? And then her homeland in Thailand, the religious people who graduate from Islamic University, they all speak Arabic. And just from her, are connected with other people like her, males who are Sheikh, Tulab who teach Quran. I have conversations with all of them in Arabic language, and they're from Thailand, and they live in Thailand, and they speak Arabic. I keep on saying Islam in America, the Muslims in America, we take Islam as a joke. And Thailand is Buddhist. It's a Buddhist country. They're Buddhists. They're all Buddhists. And the Muslims in Thailand are the minority. I was shocked. I'm like, wow, mashallah tabarak. And this is Thailand. Thailand is a Buddhist country. And they're not rich. And the Muslims in Thailand are not rich. The Muslims in America got all type of finances and wealth. And they're not even thinking about preserving their religion. And Thailand is a developing country. And even in the south part of Thailand, the government always harassing them or fighting with them sometimes. Sometimes, not all the times. And these people are still preserving their religion. And I asked her, was her studies in her country, which is on the border of Malaysia, right? I said, where is because Malaysia is a Muslim country, I said, where is the studies in the Islam stronger at? Between Malaysia, right? Because Malaysia has well-known Islamic universities that many people go there to get their PhD, right? I said, what's stronger for religion and learning Deen in Arabic? She said, Thailand. She said, the Muslims in Thailand institutions are a little bit stronger. She said, stronger. And then when she showed me her high school, I was shocked. The high school said it's an Arabic institution. She went to a high school for Arabic. And this is a Buddhist country, Muslim minority, and the Muslim minority are not rich. And then we see brothers in America talking about, oh, they study Arabic once a week online. And man, we're a joke. This is a joke. I'm not here to play any games, man. You know, in America, we love this dawah where people let's lie, not lie, but we love this dawah when people dilute the reality, not dilute the truth, but dilute the reality of things, because they don't want you to get, run away from the deen or fall back on the deen. So they might dilute the reality. I'm not here to dilute the reality. I'm telling you guys, this online Arabic once a week, twice a week, you never learn the language. You never learn the language. Never learn. Matter of fact, the sister, I'm gonna share this video with her. I talk to her in Arabic language. I have other people on my WhatsApp. I went to a couple of years ago. I went to Indonesia. Now, when I went to Indonesia, right? I was in the car with somebody, and we was driving by, right? I was in Makassar, right? In Makassar, this province in Indonesia. I was in the car, and I was like, that's Arabic. What's that? The person told me, oh, that is a college for Arabic language. Indonesia is a poor country, man, but it's a Muslim country, so you can understand this. So when I was in Indonesia, I don't speak no Indonesian. I was there for like 2 months. I speak no Indonesians. Right? The people stop me in the street in Indonesia because they see me dressed like this. I actually had this jalabiya with me there too. Right? People stop me in the street to talk with me in Arabic. Because they thought I was like Sudani or from the Kharij because of my skin color, right? People stop me in the street to talk Arabic with me. Religious peoples. And then I'm on the Salafi dawah. Then the Salafis there, majority, every Salafi I met, if they was a Tulab, all of them spoke to Arabic. Matter of fact, I have a video on my channel, right here on my channel, when I went to one of their institutions. You can hear all the students talking to me in Arabic language. Every last one of the students talking to me in Arabic language. And they tell me the books they study. And one of them, he was talking about a book in the Ilm al-Rijal. No, I think Ilm al-Rijal. Yeah, Ilm al-Rijal. Right? It's on Jarh Hadith. Displays the signs of Hadith. Right? Well, the students talking to me in Arabic about the book. I have the video right here on YouTube. It's right here on YouTube. On my channel. And these are the Salafis. And a lot of the students, when I went inside the school, this actually was a masjid that had an institution in it, right? Islamic institution. Every last one of those students, whether they were beginners, new to studying religion, all of them was talking to me in the Arabic language. Even though their durus is in the Indonesian language, well, all of them were talking to me in the Arabic language. Every last one of them. Matter of fact, I think I have a recording when I was in one of their libraries. One of the teachers was preparing the lesson, right? No, one of the students was preparing the lesson. They was getting on him. Well, no, it was a teacher, one of the teachers, right? The students and the other professors, the other teachers was getting on him, right? He was weak in Arabic. They was getting on him. It was getting on. Right? Because I came in the room, was talking with them. I don't speak Indonesian, and many of them don't speak English. I was talking to them in Arabic. They was getting on him because he called the conversation with me in Arabic. They was getting on the guy. And this is not an Arabic-speaking country. I respect the Southeast Asian Muslims. I respect them. You know, I respect them. The Southeast Asian Muslims, because Arabic is not their mother tongue. But they understood to preserve their religion, you have to understand the Arabic language. There's another sister follows me on Facebook, right? Indonesian. And she's not into Taliban, none of that stuff. She's not into seeking knowledge, none of that stuff. Matter of fact, she's into Sufia. Love Sufism in Indonesia. May Allah guide them, right? One day she seen my videos. She started inboxing me and talking with me in Arabic. And I know this is not about, trust me. She told me about all her problems in Indonesia, her children, and she needs some help. I hope she sees the video too, right? And she started talking with me in Arabic. And I was very curious because sometimes in the Muslim countries, the non-Arabic speaking Muslim countries, sometimes the layman Muslim don't care about learning Arabic. But Indonesia, this woman, like other Indonesians I met who were not into Taliban, could speak Arabic. I asked her, why do you learn Arabic? Where you learn? She said, first you learn Arabic in school. I said, why do you learn it? This is somebody who's it's not into Taliban. Actually, like Sufism and all this stuff. I'll be trying to give her dawah once in a blue moon. I see her post these Sufi, like a lot of these Sufi Arab sheikhs from Yemen and stuff. I try to give her some dawah, right? But I'm like, why your folk? Why you know Arabic? She said to me, Islam is in Arabic. The Quran is in Arabic. How are you going to understand the Quran if you don't understand Arabic? This is Indonesia layman, not even into Taliban. And we got brothers in the West, in America, especially the Salafi community, talking about They don't want to learn Arabic or they don't take it serious. This sister was holding a conversation with me in Arabic. And she told me, yeah, I learned Arabic in school. She said, why? And I asked her why. She said, because it's part of the Quran. You can't understand the Quran unless with Arabic. Then she told me for business purpose. This is the layman. The layman. The layman. The layman. The layman. The layman Muslim. The layman. Not even into Taliban. Understand this concept that you have to understand the deen in Arabic. Then here in the West, the Muslims, you have wealth. Indonesia, poor country. Thailand, poor country. And the Muslims have the integrity, the love to learn this thing, to understand the deen of Allah. But how we Muslims in the West and got money and wealth and we boast about it. We built huge masjids in areas that Muslims don't live in. We build these huge masjids and no one is learning the deen or preserving the religion. Just building masjids for show. But you can't preserve the Islamic sciences. I don't even want to talk about the Salafi community in America because it's a joke, the Salafi community in America. It's a shame. A lot of brothers get mad with me. It's a joke. The Salafi community in America, it's a joke. In some areas, it's a joke. It's a joke online. It's a joke when it comes to Islamic sciences, Arabic language. It's a joke. Your approaches to learning religion is a joke. It's a joke. It's sad when you have Salafi. You mention Salafi in your names and Salafi Dawah, but you guys are lazy when it comes to Islamic knowledge. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. It's a joke. And you don't take it serious. It's not a priority. It's not your primary goal. You have dunya goals and you have no goals related to learning the deen. It's like it's a goal of the future if you get there. It's a goal of the future if you get the opportunity. Everything about Talab al-Ilm for the Salafi, especially the African American Salafi, everything is tatawwa, 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 tatawwa. Talab al-Ilm tatawwa. يتعلم لغة عربية tatawwa. Everything is voluntarily if you have the time. It's not important. And for the Westerner, American, psych, voluntarily means I don't have to do it. It's not wajib to do it. Learning Arabic and knowing the Arabic language for the Muslim is wajib because you can't understand the Quran without it. If you're a layman Muslim, if you don't have the wealth or, I mean, you don't have the mind and whatever. I seen yesterday, I seen a video yesterday of a Jahil Muslim. Jahil. I'm talking about Jahil. He is so Jahil. He said the Quran is important, but the Hadiths are not important. This is how Jahil this Muslim was. African American. Jahil. From the followers of War v. Muhammad. Right? Jahil. This type of statement. Ignorant. This guy got lessons on Facebook teaching Arabic from the Quran. And I said, this Jahil Muslim, because he said he believed that the messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he's not the final messenger. There's other messengers. You think Elijah Muhammad, War of the Muhammad, or messenger. That's why I say he's Jahil, right? I'm looking at his video. This guy has probably more Arabic than most of the African American Salafis I run into. And I said, that's sad. I looked at the video, man, I want to cry, man. I'm like, this guy who is Jahil, I make dua that Allah guide this old man. I said, he has more love for the Quran, even though he is Jahil, than an average Salafi African American or Salafi in the West, who've been Salafi for 10, 20 years and still know nothing about the Arabic language, talking about they're taking lessons once or twice a week online for the last 5, 10 years, starting and quitting and starting and quitting. Because I have other priorities that are important. You won't be the people to preserve Islam in America, man. You won't be the people. You won't be the people to preserve Islam in this country. You won't be the people even to preserve Salafiyah in America. This stuff is a joke. This approach and this thinking that we have in the West, and I know it's because the lack of education, the lack of don't know how to teach, And for the followers, for the layman Muslims who claim they want to learn and all this stuff, we don't know how to learn. And that's a replica what we see from us in the dunya. I'm talking about African Americans right now. That's a replica of some of the things that we notice in the dunya in the US that we're not replicating when it comes to academics and stuff like that. We can see how that's influencing also this laziness and wrong approaches is also influencing us. How we understand and practice Islam, we see it with us. The same laziness and no accountability we have related to the dunya in America, our dunya, the societies that we live in, how is disorganized. We're seeing this replicated also with our approaches on the religion. That's why we have problems learning the religion. That's why we have problems understanding or learning Arabic language. That's why we don't take it too serious. That's why we just start and give it up. That's why. We don't take the knowledge serious. The third world countries and the Muslim, non-Arabic speaking Muslim, have more love with actions to preserve their religion. And goes back to what this brother said here. I'm a plug in his comment again. Goes back to what this brother said here, the brother Najib. So what you say about the Africans that learn Arabic in their countries, although their countries don't speak Arabic. Look, the African Muslim, in some cases, they're not even in the Muslim country. I have videos I post on Facebook of the Muslims, I believe is in Nigeria, the Salafi community in Nigeria, some Salafi Sheikh or Jamaat in Nigeria, right? They had this conference with some Sheikh, either from Saudi or Sudan. I think he's from Saudi. He's giving them lectures. It's all in Arabic. And all the students are Nigerians, and they all understanding the Sheikh, and they conversating back and forth with the Sheikh in Arabic. And Nigeria is a non-Arabic speaking country, majority Christian. And they're able to preserve their Islam and learn these things in Nigeria. That's why I always get on Nigerians, Muslims. I always get on them. Not the good ones like the ones I talked about who are studying and understand. Those Nigerians in Nigeria who follow Salafi publications, when you got your own Mashaykh, your own Tulabul Ilm, and your own institutions, and you guys don't learn Arabic, and you're following ignoramus from the West, who don't speak Arabic properly, don't know Quran, and who followers are ignorant of the religion, ignorant of Islamic sciences, ignorant of Salafiyya themselves. And you got Mashaykh and Tulabul in your country. That's why I always get on you Nigerians who follow Abu Khadija and SP, because that guys are stupid who do that. Shows the ignorance, because you have many Mashaykh in the history in Africa of shuyukh and Islamic knowledge. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I'm not talking about the Sufis and the deviants. I'm talking about Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And for the African American Muslims, and all the Muslims in the West, particularly in America, we are a joke. We are a joke. We know, and I'm not one of these YouTubers that your brothers love who don't tell you the realities of this, the things that you do. Who don't tell you the reality because they are speaking to you because they don't want you to leave the deen. It's better off that you have step and don't step at all. So they themselves went away, got degrees in the Islamic sciences, learn for 2 or 3 years Arabic language, focus on that, then study their religious fields or faculty. They studied it and enter their faculties, learning those subjects of Islam in Arabic. Then they enter those faculties and they taught them these Islamic sciences in English language. You know, everything's in Arabic. And they come back in America, and you guys giving lectures from them in English and all this stuff, and you guys thinking y'all doing something. You're not doing nothing. I think you're doing something, man. You're not doing nothing at all. You're not even touching the surface. And like, oh, I studied with so and so and so and so. I'm like, yo, so and so and so have been teaching you guys this the same topics for the last 5 years in English language, but him himself, he graduated from his faculty this and then learned that stuff in Arabic, and you can't preserve the religion unless with that. And he doesn't want to push you guys away because as the da'i, he already know we're weak here. He doesn't want to push you away. And we know there's a foundation from giving dawah. We know that at least the Muslim has to have a good foundation, understanding of religion and his mother language. He know that. I know that. But I'm telling you, because some of you guys like y'all be doing something when it comes to the Arabic language. Y'all, once a week, learning some sarf. You know how many words in sarf? You know, sarf in Arabic grammar is a subject all by itself. That's how difficulty it is. Khalaqa. You learn one form, one verb, and one form, and you think, that's it? You crazy? It's about what? 8 or 9 different forms in sarf? There's like 8 or 9 different forms. Plus, on top of that, there are weak letters. There are weak particles, weak letters. There are weak letters which change the wazn for conjugation of the weak verbs. You have 3-letter verbs, which is the regular. Then you have 2-letter verbs, right? 2-letter verbs. You have and 4-letter verbs. In general, majority are 3. Then from these 3-letter verbs and the 4 and the 2, you got letters that are actually weak letters, waw and ya. Weak letters, for example, waw and ya. And you know when there's a weak letter in the verb, the conjugation and style for the normal verb changes. And there's different wazn and patterns. Then you have the different forms of the verb. And then the weak letters that have that the letters change, they also have the different forms of conjugation from different forms of verb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Man, sarf is hard. Long time. You guys get khalaqa, ja'ala. That's nothing. It's nothing. You didn't even touch the surface. Studying Arabic once a week, twice a week, you'll never get this stuff. You'll never learn it. And then those guys who don't like what I'm saying, I'm gonna bust your bubble again. Because like I said, a lot of the people who teaching you guys, they don't want to discourage you. But hey, man, you guys be thinking like y'all doing something or you're doing work and you're learning. You're not learning. The truth is, the same teacher that you have who studied overseas in Medina or Azhar University, them guys didn't study one day out a week. They went to school 5 days a week in the classroom setting, learning Arabic before they went into their faculties, right? And some of them, depending on what country they were in, what university they went in, they're not studying just one subject in Arabic. They were studying Nahu. That's one subject. Sarf. That's another subject. Takbir. That's another subject. Mafradat. That's another subject. That's another subject. What else? I forgot some. What I forget? Najib, what did I forget? There's a lot more. What else? What else they learn? Oh, and then they learn, sometimes they learn on the side with these things, Islamic subjects. To Bidayah al-Fiqh, the beginning of fiqh, huh? In the beginning of fiqh, tahara. They might start learning when they get to a certain level. That's from the beginning. They might start learning some fiqh of tahara. The fiqh of salah. Just a little bit of it, right? So they learn in Arabic, sarf, nahu, sarf. Oh, I forgot. Oh, imla, dictation, imla. Oh, I forgot about that. What else they learning? I said takbir. A little bit about balagha, probably the last year, right? What else they learning? Sarf, nahu. Oh, i'rab. It's part of sarf and nahu. What else they learning? I mean, this is all these are subjects of learning Arabic. Then they learn this stuff for the first 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of learning Arabic. And in the class 5 days a week. For about 3, 4, maybe 5 hours a day. My brothers in Saudi universities, about 5, 6 hours a day. Then after that, they have to go to other classes for Quran and Tajweed. That's mandatory for them to do. Learn Quran, memorize, and learn Ahkam and Tajweed and Makharij. The first 2 years, that's all they're focusing on. And if you're in Ashar, you go longer than that. Because in Ashar, you go to high school all over again in Arabic. You learn high school level, you go to learn Arabic on high school level. How many grades in high school? There's more than 3. Then you guys want to talk about, oh, you study Arabic 1, 2, twice a week, like you're going to get somewhere. I'm here to bust bubbles. This reality that you have, you have illusion. It's not based on reality. I'm here to bust the bubble. You'll never learn the language. And then on top of that, you have the brothers talking about y'all Salafi, like y'all going somewhere. You're not learning once or twice a week from 1 or 2 little books. You're not going to accomplish anything. Arabic is very difficult. I've been studying Arabic since I was like, what, 26? 25, since I was like 24, man. 24. I went away when I was like 27. I went to Egypt when I was about 26, 27. I think 27 I went to Egypt. I was 27. I'm 44 years old today. 44. 44 years old. 44. I'm 44. I'm telling you, man. And if you're not in an institution studying it, you ain't gonna go nowhere. If you're not with somebody studying it who has the correct approaches, know the approaches for teaching Arabic, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and if you just came, when this video ends, go to the beginning, which I told you about the approaches that Arabic teachers must need and have to teach Arabic to non-Arabic speakers. If you have a teacher don't have this approach and you're just doing 2 or 3 times a week, you ain't gonna get nowhere, because I didn't get where I'm at today from learning Arabic this way. You will get nowhere. Hard, man. Hard. Arabic literature. Some brothers, they learn a bit, they go to Egypt, they go to the schools, and they come back. They still don't understand Arabic because they never study Arabic literature. Some of the schools just focus on teaching Arabic for the non-Arabic speaker. And then when you finish that, you get into Arabic literature. Now I got to get back into Arabic literature, because I spend most of my time studying Islamic sciences. This is one of my books. I'm not here to show off. All right. One of the books I'm studying right now, Bidayah Mujtahid wa Nihaya Muqtasid, right? You see why I highlighted in the book with one of my teachers, right? I don't read this on my own. I have a teacher, Egyptian, Doctor, Sharia law. When I went, I can't read. You won't be able to read this book. This book have no touch skill. You can see where I highlighted things. I'm not here to show off. Even wrote notes. I'm not here to show off. 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 You ain't be able to read none of this stuff. Study none of this stuff. Learning Arabic once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week online, or in the class once or twice a week. You'll never reach that level. Never. And if you notice my notes, if you can see some of the notes I take, if you can see, I don't write notes in English. I write them in Arabic. And if I think it's something I want to translate later on, if I take side notes, then I will note 1 or 2 things in English because I want to translate it for later on. Translation is not even the goal with learning Arabic. Translation is not the goal with learning Arabic. Translation is not the goal with learning Arabic. This is one of my books. I'm 44 years old. Started when I was about 25. Started little lessons, once a week, twice a week, go nowhere. Teacher go nowhere. I'm one of my first teachers. I have 2 teachers before I went away to study Arabic. My first teacher was Latino from Argentina. He graduated from Medina. He was my first teacher, right? Right. And then I met another brother who was like self-taught, right? When I went to Way to study, right? And the one from Medina, my teacher from Medina was Latino. He's from Argentina. He taught Arabic as a hustle. I say it again. He taught Arabic as a hustle, as a make a living, because he was in the U.S. Legally, he couldn't work, right? He didn't have a work visa. He had a student visa, right? So he couldn't work, and his visa expired, right? He legally couldn't work. So what he used to do was teach Arabic for business. So when you teach Arabic for business, it's not about teaching the student Arabic. You make your money by the syllabus, the curriculum, and within the curriculum is the syllabus, right? That's how you make your money. Any language school, by the syllabus, right? The syllabus. This, you get this amount of lesson. I don't want to get this lesson yet. Huh? And you're gonna stretch out them lessons because you're gonna make money charging the lessons by the hour or by a monthly course. It's about making money now. So sometimes they prevent you from going far because they want to get all the money they can get out of you. I had another teacher before I went away to study, an associate of mine, to teach Arabic for free. Right? Went away, came back. When I went to Egypt, came back, right? Went again, stayed a little bit longer, like over a year and a half, right? Came back, learned. The teacher who was from graduated to teach me, he was a hustler, because I learned in Egypt the hustle on how to teach Arabic, the business, right? I learned that from working in the English school, right? And then from learning from real teachers, Arabic, my second teacher, man, I learned brother had so many mistakes. And Nahu, Sarf, Rab, much mistakes. Matter of fact, I had one of his books, some notes when I was in Egypt, and the teacher looked at this notes that I had from the brother, and the teacher, Egyptian teacher in my class, when we looked at his notes, he said, I didn't teach you this. It's all wrong. I said, this is not a lesson from you. He said, all of it is wrong. He said, all of it is wrong. I didn't teach you this. Why you have this written down? I said, oh, this is not from you. This is from something old, right? And I was like, wow, the brother who told me all that, he said all of it. He corrected it, actually. The teacher corrected it all. He said, oh, that's wrong, and he corrected it. And this particular teacher actually graduated from Azhar. So it goes back. So you guys got to learn the approaches. That's why I don't focus on, I don't teach Arabic anymore. Studies, right? And then if I want to do that again, if I want to teach Arabic again, I hope my internet is not acting up. If I wanted to teach it again, then what I'm going to do, if I want to teach Arabic again, I'm going to first take a course on how to teach Arabic as a second language, or Arabiya Gairu Kinabia. Who's blowing up my joint? Who's blowing up my stuff? Who's blowing up my stuff? I'm about to leave. I'm over an hour. I wanted to go live again with this video, but I can't no more. I have in the description of this video, I wrote a couple of articles on my website. The links are in the description on some of the myths that Westerners have about learning Arabic. There are some type of things that a lot of Westerners think, Muslims in the West think about learning Arabic, that is like needs to be dealt with, and I talk about it a lot. Some of the wrong thinking that they have in the West, the Muslims in the West, about learning Arabic. I've written a couple of articles. I think I linked 2 of them, right? But I discussed them because there are some myths. Because before I went away to Egypt to learn Arabic, it was a big thing. You know, you got to study Al-Ajurumiyya. Al-Ajurumiyya, Allah, is a very good book. But Al-Ajurumiyya is a muqaddam, only introduction, right? So you have a lot of brothers to think if you finish Al-Ajurumiyya, like you mastered Arabic conversation and this and this. And Al-Ajurumiyya is like a couple of pages. How you gonna master Arabic from a book? I have a couple of pages. And that's what I mean is a maqaddam fi nahu. It's only an introduction into Arabic grammar, not Arabic language. There's many aspects to Arabic grammar. I mean Arabic language, which is not grammar only. As the brother mentioned earlier about having vocabulary in this, man, there's other aspects to Arabic language you have to know. Grammar is part of it, but there's other things. You know, mukharij is part of Arabic language, pronunciation. They didn't learn that in America. That's why a lot of brothers have problems conversating because they can't pronounce the letters right. Even me sometimes. I have problems pronouncing the words because learn from people in America who don't know the phonics of Arabic. And Makarish is really the phonics of Arabic. It's a whole system of related to phonics. The Arabic phonics is a whole system to that. Kids learn it. Arabic kids learn this stuff in school. You have to learn these things. All right. There's a whole other things about language you have to learn, but we don't learn them. What's the difference between ha and ha, the hard ha and the soft ha? What's the difference between them? Qaf and kaf. This is going to be related to makharij. This is coming from different parts of the mouth. The hamza and the ayn. What's the difference from it when you're pronouncing it? How do you pronounce it? Where did this come from? This is also part of the language. We might see as part of tajweed, which is, right? But it's part of the language. So some people study nahu, but don't study makharij. Some people study grammar, but don't learn mafradat wa tabir. Some people study grammar, but never learn sarf. And sarf is even hard for Arabs. Sarf is even hard for Arabs. But Arabs have a system of teaching sarf. Arabs teach sarf to the native speaker by usage and sentences and stuff like that. They learn some of the wazn by examples, like in American English. They used to say in American English, they teach grammar. Like Americans are very weak in grammar, especially in the school setting, right? New York State, very weak. It might be in a different state in New York. I mean, a different state in the US, but most states in New York, most states in US, Americans don't teach, not strong in English grammar until they go to college and learn grammar properly, right? So grade school and high school, when you're supposed to be learning grammar correctly, you don't. And the reason why is they say in grammar or in school that you learn grammar through literature. That's the American way. You learn grammar through literature, right? So that's why a lot of Americans might not be able to explain everything about English grammar, because in America they learn grammar through literature, right? Canada, UK, different story. Because you go to UK, right, and you will find books that's focused on English grammar. Actually have better the British and the Canadians have better approaches on teaching English language or English grammar than the Americans. And that's very true. All right. So you have a lot of the Muslims in America want to learn Arabic. They focus on grammar, but don't have no vocab. They focus on conversation, but have no vocab or don't know grammar. You need all these things. Right. I heard a brother, a Salafi brother, many years ago wrote on his website, right? I don't want to say his name. He took the article, or there was a video and an article, or a video linked to a article where he says about Salafis learning Arabic, that conversational Arabic is not important. And when I read that he said that, I said, this guy knows nothing about Arabic language. Matter of fact, any book on Arabic grammar, all of them in the introduction of the book, especially Al-Ajrumiyya, and all of them telling you need to study Al-Ajrumiyya, right? It says, what is kalam? What is kalam? What is kalam fi nahu? What is speech in nahu? What is speech in Nahu? Somebody tell me. I see people here. What is speech in Nahu? I heard the Salafi brother talking about conversation in Arabic is not important. I said, this guy don't know nothing about Arabic language. And why? I never hear him speak either. What is kalam? Every book, Al-Aruzumiyya or Alfiya ibn Malik or Qat al-Nada, all the books on Arabic grammar that are popular, ancient, famous, and Nahu al-Wadi, all those talks begin the book with what? What is kalam or kalimat? Kalam from Al-Rumiyya or Alfiya ibn Malik, I believe what is kalam or kalimat. The meanings are very close. What is kalam? اللفظ المركب المفيد بالواضح. اللفظ. What is lafz? What is lafz in Arabic? It's speaking, pronouncing, using letters from the Arabic language. All the scholars of grammar start out their books with this. So how conversation Arabic is not important, it's the sign that this guy knows nothing about Arabic language. And it goes back to brothers don't have the approaches and don't know it to teach Arabic, or don't know Arabic really as you think they might know. Every book on Arabic grammar starts out with this. Al-Kalam or Kalimat. What is Kalam? A Kalam was a lafz, right? It's lafz, word, using letters from the Arabic language, pronounce a lafz. And murakkab, 2 letters or more. Using Arabic words, pronounced, 2 letters or more that are understood or beneficial, also known as Jaml al-Mufid, beneficial sentence. So how conversation is not important. That's how you know the person didn't study Arabic properly. Every book on Arabic grammar mentions that. Every single book. Qat al-Nada, Ajrumiyya. Ajrumiyya is really al-Muqaddam, is introduction. Elementary is elementary book to understanding Arabic grammar. Alfiya ibn Malik and Qat al-Nada, a little bit intermediate and advanced. And there's other curriculums out there, other books out there that are good. All of them start with this. Al-Kalam or Kalimat. So how conversation Arabic is not important. I heard some Salafi brother who's is somewhat popular, I want to say his name, right, was saying this for many years, had this on his website. I'm like, brother, you didn't study Arabic properly, man. Oh, conversation Arabic is not the main thing to focus on. I'm like, what scholar in Arabic said this? No scholar in Arabic language is going to tell you this. Even for the scholar in Arabic grammar, Arabic language, or the deen, they're not going to tell you that. Some might say put emphasis more on grammar first, learning it in America, then build up for conversations, right? Because you might not be perfect in the conversations in the beginning. Some scholars in Arabic language disagree and say, no, you have to start out with both grammar, vocab, and conversation. But let me get up out of here. I know when people hear me, when I talk about some of these brothers, they get mad and stuff. I know I'd be getting some of them upset. But on the real, some brothers in the community don't need to be teaching Arabic. They need to go study the approaches on teaching Arabic. Need to go learn the approaches for teaching Arabic. Because once I heard this a long time ago from this brother, I was like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. I seen him took the article down. I seen somebody post that one day on Facebook. I'm like, yo, no Arabic scholars don't say that. Matter of fact, and one of the introduction of Al-Rumiyya, the scholar during the time of Ali radiallahu anhu, who wrote Arabic Qawaid into a book, or Qawaid, Arabic into a Qawaid, because he heard his daughter, he made a statement, and his daughter, he said, Ma ajmal al-qalam, a qamar, right? A qamar, something like this. How beautiful is the moon? She thought he was asking her a question. She thought he was asking her a question. So the sheikh was conversating with his daughter. So the sheikh is saying from conversation Arabic, because the daughter had made a mistake in conversation Arabic, he decided to write the rules of Nahu. Another hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha with her nephew and another Sahaba. I think it was not Sahaba Tabi'in, right? It was Aisha with her nephew and one of the Tabi'in. And Aisha in the hadith was rebuking the Tabi'in who was young because he had a lot of mistakes in Arabic language and speaking Arabic. She was criticizing him and his mistakes because she said he cannot narrate properly because these conversational, grammatical mistakes from conversation Arabic is the reason why he cannot repeat or recite the hadith correctly. So how are you going to say Arabic conversation is not important? I'm out, inshallah. I wrote a good articles, 2 of them, right in the comment of the section, sorry, in the description of the section. And if you want to read it, I talk about some of the misbehaviors and the mishaps that a lot of the Westerners have, or myths about Arabic that needs to be dealt with, because it's preventing people from learning, and these misconcepts keep on going on in the community and nobody's learning properly or taking it serious, except for only a few people are benefiting or learning. But a lot of the people who claim they are learning or want to learn, they have a lot of misconcepts that prevent them from actually learning.